Live, this is KCMP Channel 14 News. Good evening, and welcome to KCMP Channel 14 News. I'm Bo Papadakis.
And I'm Mamacita. Thanks to plenty of cow manure and freshly plowed soil, the Judds garden was a roaring success this year. We go now to our home and garden specialist, Doodle Poodles.
There is plenty of zucchini, crookneck squash, cantaloupe, and butternut squash all summer.
Fresh corn on the cob from our garden.
But it was a major family event when the Judds finally picked their first watermelon.
See that watermelon?
It was huge. We were waiting all summer. My dad finally let me pick it. Huge. Bigger than the baby.
But when Fontaine finally cut it open, it turned out they had picked it too soon.
Oh. It was like all white inside.
The Judds were sorely disappointed, but the kids opted to eat it anyway.
Well, I see that watermelon, so big, so fat, so fat.
It tastes like honeydew that's not ripe.
That tastes delicious.
It's okay. We eat anything.
And that's the juicy story of the Judd family garden. I'm Doodle Poodles. Back to you, Bo and Mama.
Thanks, Doodles. And with the end of summer, school is starting. And Caleb, who has graduated from South Sutter Charter School, is joining his older sister Tia at Casa Roble High School as a freshman. They've really enjoyed attending school together and had a great time attending their first Casa Pep rally.
Oh my gosh, I was so proud of you, Caleb. I couldn't find you
What
afterwards.
happened?
Everybody was screaming for him and just being like, I wish I had taught them their names, like, it's Caleb, 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 Caleb.
But there is tension brewing in the Judd household as the new school year begins. Sunshine Applegate explains.
Thanks, Bo. According to eyewitness accounts, last year when Tia transitioned out of charter school, she became super self-conscious about her family's lack of social skills.
When Tia started high school, she was so worried that I was going to embarrass her, which is really ironic if you knew anything about our history.
I told my friends that my mom didn't sleep with underwear on because she was 8 months pregnant. Just my friends, which was the entire second grade class.
Thankfully, by the second semester of school, Tia relaxed a bit and began to enjoy school. But Hannah, the mother of the Judd household, realized that she was probably going to have to go through this all over again with Caleb. Are you worried that your mother is going to do something to embarrass you?
Yeah, well, she's already done it on multiple occasions. I was once in a car with a bunch of my friends. We were going to practice football, and one of them called me the human steroid. And my mom started talking to him about how steroids will shrink your
Yes, your will shrink. Yes, it causes all sorts of problems. Steroids, they replace the testosterone in your body, but they don't do all the jobs that testosterone is supposed to do. So your body goes, whoa, we're getting way too much testosterone, and it quits making real testosterone. And so even though you're getting these big muscles, because the steroids don't do everything that testosterone is supposed to do, what happens is you start having symptoms of testosterone deficiency if you're using steroids. So basically your manhood shrivels away and you develop breast tissue, baldness, liver damage, and all sorts of bad things happen. Like, I'm not trying to be friends with my kids' friends. I'm the mother. So I'm sorry they feel embarrassed, but maybe they shouldn't say things like you're the human steroid if they don't want an uncomfortable topic to be discussed.
And there you have it. Steroids are bad for you. Reporting live from the steroid-free Judd household, I'm Sunshine Applegate.
I think I would have said the exact same thing if I were in that mother's situation. Steroids aren't something to mess around with.
Well, we certainly wish the Judds good luck in their new school year. We now go to our tree correspondent, Betty Squirmels, for a sad story about an empty spot in the orchard.
It is a sad story, Bo. Despite medical intervention, the Judds' baby calf Meatball passed away early Sunday morning after a battle with pneumonia.
Saturday night, we realized that the calf was dying that night, and it was so sad. And that's sad. In the morning, he was dead.
He was a lot like his mom. He was very calm, but just a good cow. So we were really sad when he died. I spent all day digging a grave.
We thought, well, we should bury it in the orchard and then plant like a beautiful peach tree or something over it.
By the time I finished, though, it was dark, so we didn't have time for the funeral.
The kids had school the next morning. My husband had work. He ended up being at work late, and so we didn't get it buried. And then all of a sudden, the weather changed and it got really hot.
Hannah started worrying that the decaying calf would get the other cows sick too.
This wasn't a dog we were burying, it was a cow. And I think it was almost 300 pounds. It was very, very heavy.
So she asked her son Caleb to figure out a way to move and bury the calf.
Can't lift it easily. And yeah, I'm gonna attach it to the back of the lawnmower and take it to its grave, I guess.
Unfortunately, the best thing he could think of was to tie it to the lawnmower, which wasn't how the Judds envisioned the burial of their dear calf.
We didn't have any rope, so he ended up using a jump rope, which was weird. We ended up having to drag it. The mama cows freaked out at that point. I think they thought that the calf was just sleeping on the other side of the yard, and I don't know that they realized that he had died.
And then, to make matters worse, the grave the Judds had dug on Sunday, even though it hadn't rained recently, filled up with water.
So he tried pulling it into the grave, and then there was like a big splash of water. And a friend of ours, Coach Curry, was like, oh, so it's kind of like he got buried and baptized all in the same day. And we're like, yeah. So it wasn't the dignified funeral that we were hoping for.
It was disturbing.
Sadly, this isn't the first time a funeral has gone wrong for the Judds.
Our very first pet was a rabbit named S'mores. It was an old rabbit, an old sick rabbit somebody had given us. And about a month later, he had a stroke and died. And the kids were really, really upset. So we had dug a hole and tried to have a nice funeral. And we're having a special prayer. And I opened my eyes just in time to see Superstar, who was a toddler and who was running around, fall into the grave. Had the dead rabbit in there. And so it just seems like our funerals never go the way we want them to.
Perhaps the Judds should refrain from future funeral services. As for the tree, this is the spot. The Judds plan on planting a Red Baron peach tree to commemorate the little calf Meatball. The Meatball Memorial Red Baron Peach. But they missed the planting season, so it hasn't happened yet.
Wow, Betty. Sad indeed. And how disturbing for everyone involved.
I understand Hannah and Trixie were particularly sad because they had worked so hard to try and nurse the calf back to health.
Yes, right after Meatball died, the other calf, Dinah, was not only starting to devour the feed the Judds were buying, but she also began drinking all of the milk from both the adult cows. There literally wasn't any milk left for the Judd family.
Goodbye, Dinah.
The Judds sold the not-so-little calf to a family that had 3 acres and other farm animals to keep the calf company. Reporting live from the Judd family farm, I'm Betty Squirmels.
Maybe instead of Dinah, they should have named the little calf Miss Piggy.
Indeed. We go now to Jetson Longshorts for news about sports.
Thank you, Mama. Cheer shows on dance team again this year. She performed at her first pep rally and varsity football game. Her team gave their best performance yet.
My coach Chelsea said, all right guys, this year you guys have to try out before every routine that we perform. And if you don't make it, then you don't get to perform.
The results of this new rule were noticed by many people.
We got so many performance creds. Everybody's like, wow, you did such a good job. Wow, I loved how in sync you guys were. You guys did such a good job.
In other news, Falcon began his long-awaited foray into the basketball world. Accompanied by his little brother Blackstone, he's getting personal training from Mike Shaw, one of the top coaches in the Sacramento area. And in football, the season has already started again for Caleb Moose, and he is already showing the desire to pummel the competition. His first game as a freshman at Cassie, he had 5 tackles in the first 5 minutes alone. Caleb plays middle linebacker on defense and slot and ace on offense, as well as backup quarterback. He's also a long snapper and on kickoff return. What a beast. I'm Jetson Longshorts, and back to you, Bowen, Mama.
What an exciting start to the season. I can't wait to see how their team does.
And that's all the time we have tonight. Be sure to tune in next time, because around here, there's never a dull moment. Good night.
I never did anything to embarrass my mother. The gum, I never ate it off the sidewalks. Ever.